Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about the Rwandan Genocide. So, um, I mean, it's not as well known as other mass genocides, I guess. It's obviously it doesn't receive as much media attention as the Holocaust did, for example, but it's still really significant and a terrible piece of history. So in 1994, it occurred in Rwanda, and it was this mass slaughter of ethnic Tutsi by the political moderate Hutu people. It started in early April 1994 and it only lasted for 100 days, which is way longer than it should have. It should have just not happened at all. And the way it ended was with the Hutu powers, the Hutu power movement, the Hutu people being defeated fundamentally in mid-July. More on that later. Well, the state government of Rwanda, with the Rwanda army and Rwandan civilians, they collaborated with the Hutu movement. So, I mean, you can kind of argue the same thing for any other genocide, right? But just the government, the army, the people, they were just fine with the killing of the ethnic Tutsi. What the hell? Um, in terms of figure, keep in mind this was just 100 days, right? 500,000 ethnic Tutsis were murdered. And not only them, also Tutsi sympathizers, murdered Hutus, and others. So if you were a Hutu, but you weren't as extreme, you could be murdered. And it is estimated, numbers depending on the source you read, of deaths in the Rwandan genocide going from 800,000 to 1 million people killed in just 100 days. If you consider the Holocaust, which arguably goes from 1943 to 1945, depends on 1942, 1941 maybe, but really the final solution 1943, 1945, 2 years, and I don't know the exact figures of general entire people who died, all the people who died, but for Jews it was 6 million Jews. I didn't mean the just. There were obviously more people. It was only Jews that died, but that was in 2 years. This was around 1 million killed in 100 days. It's brutal, and it led to 2 million refugees. More on that later. Well, the thing is with this genocide, it happened in the media. So people could actually see what was happening in Rwanda. Not that TV presenters give it that much of attention because, well, it's a third world country. Why should they bother? But it was still publicized and people still heard about it. It was done before journalists, before radio broadcasters, and even TV news reporters who obviously made a report on it and then reported it back to their own respective countries. It was broadcasted worldwide. And the foreigners living in Rwanda were encouraged to evacuate, and because of this huge amount of international presence in the genocide, against it, obviously, there was action against. And like I said, the Hutu people were defeated. Well, after the RPF takeover, 2 million, I guess 2 million refugees, 2 million Hutu refugees fled Rwanda. And these went on to live in refugee camps. Problem is, these places the conditions are terrible, they barely have any food and water, they don't have anywhere clean to go to the toilet, the conditions are way too packed. And this led to the spreading of epidemics and diseases and whatever, and leading to thousands of deaths in the refugee camps. And yeah, so that was a crisis, and this eventually led to the first Congo War in 1996, and the formation of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Rwandan refugees which had fled during the genocide, they most of them would eventually go back to Rwanda because they felt they belonged there. And by 1997, around, although not all of them went to 1997, some majority went there. And then, passed on a few years later, there was this International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda formed in order to investigate the genocide and find the people responsible, accountable for their actions. Anyway, to punish them. So it indicted 93 people, of which 62 were convicted of war crimes or acts of genocide or rape or the creation of hate media. And yeah, that is the Rwandan genocide. That is it. It's really not that much. That is a very short summary. But it's just this genocide of up to 1 million people, which barely gets mentioned. And there's movies about it and stuff, which is good because it's getting representation and people are now hearing about it, but still not enough. Yeah, we focus a lot on the Holocaust, but that wasn't the only genocide that happened. There's so many of them who deserve equal amounts of attention. And some of the genocides are happening right now in the world, so those deserve even more attention. And, well, the good thing is they did manage to stop the genocide after only 100 days, but again, that still led to 1 million deaths. And yeah, a terrible thing. And then the reason we don't really hear that much is because it's in a third world country, and well, the media doesn't want to represent that, doesn't want to focus and put stories on it. Which again, makes no sense, but whatever. That's how it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, short video, so yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you found it interesting and hope you liked it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.